The forgotten hero who stood alone against Hitler. The untold story of Georg Elser. What if I told you that one man, alone, nearly changed the course of World War II? And you've probably never heard his name. November 8, 1939. Munich, Germany. Just after 9 p.m., a deafening explosion tears through the Burgerbruckler beer hall. Dust and screams fill the air. But Adolf Hitler, the intended target, is already gone, having left just 30 minutes earlier. The man responsible? Not a spy, not a general, not a foreign agent, just a quiet carpenter from a small village named Georg Elser. This is not just a story of an assassination attempt. It's a story about loneliness, conscience, and what it means to stand against evil. Georg Elser wasn't born into revolution. He was born into obscurity. Raised in the rural town of Hermeringen, southern Germany, his life was modest. Woodwork by day, music and hiking by night. No headlines, no drama, just a man quietly watching the darkness rise in his country. But Elser was different. As Hitler tightened his grip on Germany, most people complied. Some resisted in whispers. Elser watched, listened, and decided to act. By 1938, it was clear to him. War was coming. He believed Hitler must be stopped. Not someday, not with speeches, now, with his own hands. And so began a one-man mission without support, without backers, without anyone to even talk to. He moved to Munich under a false name. Every night for 30 nights, he broke into the Burgerbruckler. Elser hid inside for hours after closing, chipping away behind the speaker's podium. Meticulously, silently, he hollowed out a space for a homemade bomb. And he built it from scratch, using scavenged materials, explosives stolen from a quarry where he once worked, and a precise 144-hour timer mechanism of his own design. He constructed something chillingly brilliant. His plan was flawless. Hitler was scheduled to speak on November 8 at precisely 8 p.m. and remain on stage until 9:30. Elser set the timer. He left the building. He walked away. But fate is cruel. That evening, due to fog preventing air travel, Hitler decided to leave early, cutting his speech short. He walked off stage at 9:07. The bomb detonated at 9:20. It tore through the hall. The ceiling collapsed. 7 people were killed. Dozens injured. But Hitler, untouched, escaped by minutes. The Nazi regime panicked. In the hours after the blast, the Gestapo arrested hundreds. Meanwhile, Elser was already en route to Switzerland, but he never made it. Caught at the border with suspicious items in his pockets, he was dragged into Nazi custody. And then, the beatings began. 4 days, he was tortured. They refused to believe he acted alone. Who helped you? They screamed. What British agents? Who paid you? But there was no one, just Elser. Even under unimaginable pain, he never gave up a name because there was no name to give. Eventually, they believed him. But the regime couldn't afford the embarrassment of a lone carpenter almost killing the Führer. So they locked him away. Not in a prison cell, in special SS custody so he could be kept alive. For a show trial that never came, he was in prison for over 5 years. Through the bombing of cities, the fall of Berlin, and the collapse of the Third Reich, Georg Elser waited in a concentration camp and tried, forgotten, silenced. And then, just 3 weeks before Germany surrendered, as the Allies closed in on SS officers executed him with a single bullet to the back of the neck. No trial, no final words, just erased. Today, most people have never heard his name, and those who do, still ask, why did he do it? He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. He had no political party behind him, no glory to chase. Just a moral conviction that doing nothing was no longer acceptable. And that's what makes his story so extraordinary. Because in a world of fear, where resistance meant death, one man dared to try. Not for reward, not for applause, but because he believed that even one life, his life, might change history. And it nearly did. Had Hitler died in that blast, World War II might have ended before it began. Tens of millions of lives might have been spared. Europe might have taken a different path. But history isn't built on what-ifs. It's built on the stories we choose to remember. Georg Elser's story isn't just about failure. It's about courage in its purest form. So next time you hear about the heroes of World War II, remember this name not as a footnote, but as a monument to conscience. Georg Elser, the man who almost changed everything, alone. And if he had succeeded, how different would our world be today? Let that question echo. Let it remind us, one person can matter. One choice can change everything, even if no one sees it.